key for the quiz, so I'm going to go through these quickly. So try to stay up, keep up. If you need to, just rewind and watch the portion you need. All right, first one's the first couple of additions. So this is 6 plus 1 and 2/10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a decimal to that 6 there, on a 0 spot, just as a placeholder to make it easier to see. All right, so same value, I just added a 0 in the decimal in the 10th spot. So that, drop this decimal down, 6 plus 1 is 7. All right, that one's done. Okay, the next one was 4 and 3/10 plus 7 and 8/10. So remember, when you line them up, make sure the decimal lines up. Good. Okay, 3 plus 8 is 11. Carry the 1. 4 plus 7 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Make sure to drop that decimal back down. Good to go. All right, next problem. We have 0 and 12 hundredths plus 2 and 89 hundredths. So we're going to start by dropping that decimal down. Now we're just going to perform the operation. So 2 plus 9 is 11. So put the 1 down, carry the 10. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 again is 10. So drop the 0 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 and 100ths. Okay, this one has a lot of digits, but same basic procedure. So I'm going to write 12 and 124 thousandths plus 23 and 97 thousandths. Okay, then go ahead and drop that decimal down. 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. Drop the 2 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 2 is 3. There you go. So 35 and 221 thousandths. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on to subtraction. Okay, so this time we have to make sure that the first term is always listed on the top. Okay, so we have 12 and 6/10 minus 11 and 4/10. So line it up. Once again, just like addition, you want to drop that decimal down. All right, notice in addition and subtraction, we're not eliminating the decimal. We're just lining them up. And if we have to, writing zeros where needed. 6 plus 4 is 10. So drop the 0 down. Oh, sorry, Mr. Robinson right there wasn't even thinking. I went straight to doing addition. So 6 minus 4 is 2. That's better. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. We don't need that. That's our answer. 1 and 2/10. Okay, 3 and 25 hundredths minus 2 and 82 hundredths. Line it up. Drop that decimal down. Okay, 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot, 2 is not big enough, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 3, make that a 2. 12 minus 8 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we have 43 hundredths. Okay, now we're getting into the ones with lots of digits, so just be careful, same basic procedure. 12 and 789 thousandths minus 6 and 865 thousandths. Okay, so once again, drop that decimal down. 9, we take 5 away from 9, we get 4. 8 minus 6 is 2. That doesn't work, so I have to borrow from the 1. 17 minus 8 is 9. And then 11 minus 6 is 5. So 5 and 924 thousandths. Okay, last subtraction problem. Once again, lots of digits. Just make sure you line everything up correctly and you should be fine. 48 and 82 thousandths minus 24 and 105 thousandths. Okay, drop the decimal down. All right, 2 is not big enough, so I'm going to borrow from the 8, make that 8 a 7. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 minus 0 is 7. Okay, I have to borrow from the 8 here, so I'll make that a 7. A 10, 10 minus 1 is 9. 7 minus 4 is 3. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So we have 23 and 977 thousandths. All right, now moving on to multiplication. So multiplication, remember the key is removing the decimal and then replacing it again later. So in this case, I'm going to turn this into a 12 by moving the decimal over 1. The 3 is already an integer, so I don't have to move anything. So I'm just going to put a reminder here. I move the decimal over 1, which means when I'm done, I have to, in my answer, the product I get, I need to move the decimal back over to the left. So I'm going to write this down as 12 times 3. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Right, but I have to put that decimal back in. So start here and let's go over 1. So I went like that. So my answer is 3 and 6/10. Okay, same thing here. So I'm going to move this decimal over 1. I'm going to move this decimal over 1. And then we have 2. Right, we moved it over 2 times total. So when we're done, we're going to have to move it 2 back over on our product. So 42 times 2 times 22. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, that part's done. Okay, now I'm going to put a 0 in for the placeholder. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I'm going to find the sum here. So 4, 12, carry the 1, 9. So we have 924, but we have to move that decimal over twice. So 1, 2. So our answer is 9 and 24 hundredths. Okay, so far so good. Okay, next problem, another multiplication problem. We're moving the decimal over here. We're going to move it over once, make that a 6. We're going to move this over once and make that a 19. So we moved it over a total of 2 times. When we're done, we have to move the decimal 2 back to the left. Okay, so I'm going to write 19 on top just because it's 2 digits, just easier to visually do it. And then I'm going to write 6 on the bottom. Since it's multiplication, I can flip the order. It doesn't really change anything. Okay, 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm going to drop the 4 down, carry the 5. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. All right, so 114, but I need to move that decimal over twice. 1, 2. So our answer is 1 and 14 hundredths. All right, last multiplication problem, we'll jump into division. Okay, this time, for this one, I'm going to move the decimal over 2 times to make that 203, or 203. This one, I'm going to move it over once to make it 113. So I move the decimal over a total of 3 times. When I'm done, I need to replace that. All right, so this one's going to take a little longer because we have multiple digits to deal with, but it's not going to be too bad. Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. So I drop a 0 down. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 zeros because we're over in the 100 spot, right? 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we add up the columns. 9, 3, 9, 2, 2. Well, 22,939. Whew, doesn't make sense. We're multiplying roughly 2 times 11. So we definitely need to move that decimal over. So 1, 2, 3. 22 and 939,000 seems like a lot more reasonable answer. I don't know about you guys, but kind of makes more sense to me. So there's our final answer after we move the decimal back over. Okay, now when we're looking at division, right, we want to move the decimal over based on the divisor. So the divisor is the second number, the number we're dividing by. So in this case, the divisor doesn't actually have a decimal, so we don't have to do anything in this problem. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up. So inside of the house, right, we're going to go ahead and put the dividend. going to put it in there, right? And then we're going to put the divisor on the outside of the house. So inside, outside. And now this decimal's here, we're going to drop it right there. Okay, the cool thing about division is even if we do move the decimal, we don't need to move it back. All right, 4 goes into 4 one time. Great. 1 times 4 is 4. That zeroes out. We have 4 goes into 8 two times. 2 times 4 is 8. We have 0 left over, so our answer is 1 2/10. There we go. Okay, this time, if we look at our divisor, we're going to move this one over 1, which means we're going to move this one over 1 as well. So now we have 68 2/10 divided by 11. Great. Okay, so 68 2/10 is going to go on the inside of the house. On the inside of the house, remember that's what we call the dividend. And then we're going to move the divisor to the outside of the house. Okay, so I'm going to move my decimal point up. Okay, 11 does not go into 6. Bummer. But 11 does go into 68. So 11 times 6, that seems like 6 times will work. So we have 6. 6 times 11 is 66. Okay, that's 2. I'm going to drop that 2 down. 11 goes into 22 twice. 2 times 11 is 22. We have 0 left over, so our answer is 6 2/10. All right, so notice I'm not moving the decimal back over. I only have to move it when I'm setting up the problem. I don't have to move it when I'm done. Okay, 14 43/100 divided by 2 6/10. So you notice in the divisor, I do have a decimal point here, so I want to move that over 1. Since I'm moving the divisor over 1, I want to do the same thing to the dividend. Right, that will give me 144 3/10 divided by 26. Okay, I'm going to put the dividend in the house. Then I'm going to put the divisor on the outside of the house. Okay, so I know I'm going to have my decimal there. Might as well move it up. Okay, so 26 does not go into 1. 26 does not go into 14. Bummer. But 26 does go into 144. So I know that 25 is a quarter. I know that 25 goes into 156 times. So I'm going to guess this is going to be a little bit less. So let's guess 5. Let's see if that works out. 5. Okay, 5 times 6 is 0. Sorry, 30. Put a 0 here. Carry the 3. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 3 is 130. All right, good. That works out. Okay, so 4, 1, that goes away. And now drop that. We don't really need to worry about dropping the decimal down, actually. We have 3. Okay, so I know it would 26 went at 144 5 times, and I had a remainder, so I'm going to guess it's going to go into 143 5 times as well. Okay, so there's that. Let's find out. 26, 5 times 26 is 30. Carry that 3 again. 5 times 2 is 5 times 2 is 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, so let's scroll that down. Now I have 1, I have 13, and then I can have a 0 here, which I'm going to go ahead and drop down. All right, so I think this is going to fit 5 times again. Let's see. So 5 times 6 is, well, I know it's going to fit 5 times because we've been doing this over and over again. And we keep on getting 130, so it's going to fit exactly 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3 over. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. We have 0 remaining, so our answer is 5 55/100. Now in the answer key, it said round to the nearest 10. So you could have also wrote your answer down as 5 6/10 because that is greater, 5 or greater, so we could round that up to 6. All right, last problem. Okay, this one we have decimals everywhere. It's covered with decimals. So the divisor here has In order to make this a 2, we have to move this over 1, 2. So you're probably thinking, Mr. Robinson, I can't go 2 over here. Sure you can. So before I do that, since we know we're going to move it over, let's just rewrite the problem. Let's go 0, and let's just add a 0 there. Why not? I'm not doing anything. 0 is just a placeholder. So if I'm going to move this over 1, 2, then I can move this one over 1, 2 as well. So that turns in from 8/10 to 80. And then this turns into 2. 80 divided by 2. Pretty easy problem at this point. So on the inside of the house, the dividend is 80. On the outside of the house, the divisor is 2. 2. So 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. That zeroes out. 2 goes in 0 0 times. That no remainder. Our answer is 40. The answer is 40. All right, here you go. That was your video answer key. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys are ready to rock this thing on Thursday. If you need more help, I recommend, or more practice, I recommend you guys jump into IXL and do some problems. All right, have a good one.